was a doozy. It was 4,400 meters in 1 hour 28 minutes. Speedy. So with Roka's care package of goggles and wetsuits and things to try out, I've been giving a few more sets of goggles a go. And it really got me thinking, how many sets of goggles is the perfect amount of goggles that a triathlete needs? So today, once I get back into the pain cavern, we're gonna go through 3 sets of goggles that I think you need. And I'm gonna tell you about the one that you can get that covers all of them if you're on a budget. All right, let's talk about the dream team, disgusting Pete, of goggles. So I think that triathletes need ideally 3 different goggles. Now I know you got a lot of stuff to buy. You got bikes and helmets and cycling shoes and running shoes and all that stuff and race entries and coaching and the Triathlon Terran Team Trainiac training platform, just saying. But relatively, swimming is really cheap. That? How much is that? 15, 16 grand? Goggles? 19 bucks. Hell of a sport. And the thing about goggles is when you start getting into open water specific goggles, you can save yourself a ton of time. Those wheels cost about $4,000. Might make you about 1 kilometer faster in the course of your bike, saving you 1 to 2 minutes. Being able to actually see the buoys, see what's out in open water and sight in a straight line, same sort of thing, can save you 1 minute to 2 minutes. $4,000? 20 bucks. So as far as dollar per minute saved goes, all of the bike aerodynamics and the running carbon plated sole technologies pale in comparison to the $20 purchase that you can make to get properly set up with goggles. Let's start out with the easiest set of goggles. You need a pool set of goggles. This is a cheap set of goggles, ideally clear so that you can see the clock, but nice and low profile. We're not talking about, We're not talking about these big suckers. I only own these because I use them for the marathon swim. And when you got something sucked onto your face for like 9 hours, yeah, you want it nice and cushy. But these, really overkill, very high profile, absolutely not meant for the pool. And even in open water, these have such a high profile that we're talking about drag from the water. I wouldn't recommend these. Ugh. But in the pool, you want something inexpensive because the chlorine is going to deteriorate it. You want something that is nice and cushy, has some silicone or just a little bit of rubber like the Socket Rocket goggles. But you want them nice and low profile that sit somewhat inside your eye socket so that when you dive in the water, these things aren't gonna get ripped right off because the profile doesn't catch the water. These are the Finis Circuit goggles, and I'm a big fan of these. They're kind of similar to the Speedo Vanquisher 2.0s. Something like this is like the bread and butter that you'll see a lot of swimmers using. So that's the pool goggle. Now let's get into open water. This is the Roka F1. This is the Roka X1. What you'll see with both of these is the commonality is that they are both mirrored goggles, but these are clear, these are amber tinted. I recommend having both. The clear goggles are really good for open water when it's a little bit overcast. The mirror takes a little bit of the glare off the water. Even when it's overcast, you're still gonna get a little bit of glare on the water, but the clear aspect of this is still gonna allow everything to pop. You're gonna be able to see the buoys contrast nicely with the shore, and you're gonna be able to sight with things on shore really well. The amber tinted goggles are really good for when it's very sunny out. And when it's sunny, you definitely need that mirror to get rid of the glare, but the amber takes down the brightness of it all. And I find that the amber color allows the buoys to really pop off of a typically green shoreline. So you're gonna be able to spot everything really well. Now, as far as size goes in open water, these F1s are what I would typically use. When Roka sent out these X1s they just seem so big, I was like, really? Like, how do you use these? These are gonna have so much drag. I swam in them, and my swim times were actually the exact same swimming with these as swimming with these. But with these Roka X1s, the amount of visibility that you have everywhere is absolutely incredible, and it's still really nice and comfy. It sits nicely inside the eye socket without sitting outside the eye socket like these big mamma jammas. Now, one quick tip for these with open water, get yourself a little bit of anti-fog spray, and the night before, cover it in about 3 layers. Let it dry overnight, waiting about 1 to 2 hours in between coats. If you do it the morning of, it's not really gonna settle in, so the night before is when you wanna do that. So, cheap, clear goggles for the pool, clear mirrored goggles for when it's overcast, clear amber goggles for when it's sunny. And personally, if it comes to F1 versus X1, I'd go X1. I think that these are a really nice balance between nice and big so that you can see a heck of a lot in open water during the race, which is critical to make sure that even if you're just getting a little sight out of the corner of your eye, a goggle isn't in the way. But what happens if you're like, you know what, Taryn, no, that extra $40 to get the extra 2 sets of goggles is too much. What I would probably recommend is something like this. This is the Finis Circuit goggle with a mirrored, slightly tinted finish. Kind of provides the best of all worlds. It allows you to dive really well in the pool. It's not so dark in the pool that you can't see the clock. It's a nice amount of tint without being too kind of on one end of the spectrum for sun or for overcast. And the adjustable straps on the side I really like. So if you only have to get 1 pair of goggles, I'd get something like this. So there you go, Trainiacs. Live large, spend like you're LeBron James and you just got into triathlon. Buy 3 sets of goggles and brag to all your friends. And if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button below. If you are subscribed, hit the like button. Later, Trainiacs.